Jai Baba, Jai Baba. Well, my name is Arnavaz Dadachanji. My uncle Arnavaz Dadachanji was the first one to meet Baba, and he was the one who took the whole family to Baba. Now I'll tell you small incidents which took place, which gave me the impact. When I was just about 18 years old, Baba called me to stay in the ashram for the first time when he was in Panchgani. I was very, very ill, and doctor told me to take a vacation somewhere. So what I thought, that I would go to Panchgani so that I could be near Baba and that I would be able to see Baba every day. But in those days, we had to tell Baba everything what we did, or we had to ask Baba. So I wrote a letter to Baba that I needed a vacation, a change, and that I would want to stay in Panchgani in a hotel. Came the reply with a telegram. Don't go to the hotel. Come and stay with me. That was the first time I went and stayed with Baba in the ashram at Panchgani. And Panchgani is such a beautiful place. It was a beautiful bungalow with view of valleys and mountains. I was very weak at that time, so Baba took great care of my health. Then Baba told me what medicines to take, to rest and not exert myself, and so on. In the evenings, Baba used to sit in the compound, outside, on the ground of course, and we used to talk with Baba. Baba used to talk with us, joke with us, tell us stories. But my condition being weak, he gave me the order to wear a coat when I sat outside in the compound. Myself and so on. In the evenings, Baba used to sit in the compound, outside, on the ground of course, and we used to talk with Baba. Baba used to talk with us, joke with us, tell us stories. But my condition being weak, he gave me the order to wear a coat when I sat outside in the compound. Well, it was not very cold, so I wore a cotton long-sleeve blouse. Then Baba looked at me. After some time, of course he didn't say it once, after 5 minutes, he just looked at me and said, I told you to wear a coat. Why didn't you wear it? Very lovingly, very gently. He didn't scold me. I replied, Baba, I have a long sleeve blouse. Baba said, no, I told you to wear a coat. Then I started shedding tears because I felt so bad. Baba was so loving, but I felt so bad. I started crying. Baba said, don't cry. Why do you cry? I said, Baba, I didn't obey your order. That's why I'm crying. So Baba said, remember, henceforth, always do what I tell you. And that was the incident that taught me to obey Baba literally. Well, it didn't occur to me that I was breaking his order. because that was my first experience. But then, by such a with a small incident, Baba taught me to obey him to the letter. And I was trying my best to obey him. Of course, it's very, very difficult. It's next to impossible to obey Baba literally. But we have to try our very best. When Baba came to our apartment, Ashiana, in Bombay in 1954, he was in a very good mood. He sat on the bed and there were a few Mandali around, and of course I was there. I was the only woman there because it was my house. And he suddenly started telling us about what is good and what is bad. He just turned around to all the Mandali and said, "Do you know what is good and what is bad? I'll explain to you. There is a thief who goes on robbing people from house to house. He was a wanted man. Then one day he went to a house to steal some jewelry or whatever he could get. But then he saw a woman moaning and groaning. So he went inside, and what he saw was that the woman was about to deliver a baby. He felt such compassion for her, and he thought he must help her, otherwise she would die. So he helped her deliver the baby, and looking around the house, he could find nothing to eat, no clothing, and that woman was very, very poor. So he went out, stole food, stole the clothing, and brought back and gave it to that woman. Stayed with that woman for a few days, helped her to recover her health, and after providing her with food and clothing, he was on his way. So then Baba looked around to all of us and then asked, "Now what do you say? What would you call that man? Good or bad?" Then he explained, there is nothing like good or bad. There are three things that are bad and I don't like. And they are lust, greed and anger. You must abstain from these three things. These are the three things: lust, greed and anger, which I don't like. And these are the three bad things. Oh, it was such a simple explanation, but it was so intense. He explained in such a simple manner, yet it just went into our hearts and we understood what he meant. Because time and again he used to tell us in such a simple manner, yet it just went into our hearts and we understood what he meant. Because time and again he used to tell us not to point a finger at anybody, because we are not capable of understanding why that particular person is doing a certain thing or why he is acting in that peculiar manner or a particular manner. So he said, you can never judge any human being. Therefore, don't judge. Judge yourself, because that's the most important thing. You look into yourself instead of looking into others. You purify yourself instead of just thinking that, well, that man is not pure and that woman is not good and that man is good and so on. Baba used to come to Bombay so very often, especially during the years 1957, 58 and 59. During that time, once, I painted my whole house and made new curtains, new tapestry, and installed a new air conditioner for Baba. Well, when Baba came to Ashiana, as soon as he entered, he just looked around and said, you painted your house new? I said, yes, Baba. Then he went from room to room and he went over my whole house. And then he admired my curtains because he liked beautiful things. He liked bright things, colorful things. And according to what Baba liked, I made the house. So he admired my curtains and tapestry and furniture furniture that was polished, shining bright and all that. And he seemed to be very happy. And then he sat down on the dining table, talking to me. Now, what happened, I'll tell you what happened before that. Baba used to drink soda water, not just ordinary water, and that too, only a particular make. There were many makes of soda, but he wanted that particular premier soda. And that premier soda I couldn't get near my house. I had to go to the factory and bring a full case of soda bottles. Now I was so busy till the end that I made arrangements for every little detail. Every little detail. There's so much to be done when Baba came to the house. But I forgot to bring the case of soda bottles. So as soon as Baba entered the house, I remembered soda bottles. Now I was so busy till the end that I made arrangements for every little detail. Every little detail. There's so much to be done when Baba came to the house. But I forgot to bring the case of soda bottles. So as soon as Baba entered the house, I remembered. Suddenly I remembered. And I told my brother, please run in the car and bring the case of that premier soda water. Now meanwhile, Baba was looking around the house, talking to me, and like that 10 or 15 minutes passed. And then he came and sat on the table. And then he said, how much expenses I made. And he asked me the exact figure. I said, Baba, it's 7,000 rupees. Baba said, so much? Why did you spend so much? I'm here now. I'm here in Bombay for the last time, and I'm never going to come back again. Then I replied immediately, but you are here now, Baba. That's all that matters to me. Then he said he was very thirsty and he wanted soda. And you can imagine what happened to me because my brother did not return. And with such a heavy heart, I had to tell Baba, Baba, I forgot my brother has just gone to bring the soda bottle. Then he just very lovingly, but very firmly, he told me, you spent 7,000 rupees to paint the house, to install a new air condition and new curtains and everything. And you forgot 2 annas worth of soda for me? He just cannot answer. I couldn't answer anything. I just sat still. But thereby, Baba made me learn that not even one small thing should be missed. Our focus on Baba should be so 100% that not even the smallest thing should be missed. So that's what I learned. All that I did just for Baba. I made my house lovely only for him. But at that time I felt it was worth nothing because Baba was displeased. I made my house lovely only for him. But at that time I felt it was worth nothing because Baba was displeased. Though it was a small thing, but to me it was a very, very great thing. Because I never forgot. I made all the preparations beforehand, every time, every little detail. Then another incident, similar incident took place. When Baba used to send a message by letter or by telegram or by phone call that he was coming on such and such a date at such and such a time. So on that particular day, Baba was to come at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I had so much to do that I was not cooking in my house, but I used to tell my sisters to cook in their house and send the food over. Knowing Baba's ways, I always used to tell them to bring the food 2 hours ahead. So I told them to send the food at about 10 o'clock, 3 hours before. But everything went wrong on that day. Everything. The fish that they brought was spoiled, the vegetables were not available, and something or the other went wrong. And they frantically went on phoning me, Arnavaz, the food cannot be ready by 10 o'clock. I said, but when will it be ready? It will take at least 12. I said, but 12, it's too late. You must try at least to bring it by 11. But he said, it is impossible. Everything is going wrong today. And it is impossible to send the food by before 12. I said, all right, try your best and send it as soon as possible. And on that day, Baba came at 11 in the morning, 2 hours ahead. Oh, I was all so nervous. I knew the food was not ready, and as soon as he comes to the house, sometimes he asks food within 10 minutes. Then, as soon as he entered, the first gesture that he made was, I am hungry. He said, this is the gesture, I am hungry. I want food. I just did not know what to reply. I'm hungry. I want food. Oh, I was so nervous because I didn't know what to say. But I said, Baba, food hasn't come. Baba said, why not? I said, Baba, everything has gone wrong and my sisters haven't been able to prepare, and therefore they have pleaded me that they will send the food by 12. Then Baba turned round and said, why so late? Why didn't you ask for food before 11? I said, Baba, I did. But everything went wrong. But he pretended as if he didn't hear me. And then he turned and told me, you know, when I told you that I will come at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it means I'll be coming 2-3 hours ahead. Well, what could I say? Such incidents have happened so many times. We know Baba's ways, but things go wrong. It was not in our hands. Baba knew that we were not at fault, but still, Baba would reprimand us. You want to know what I felt when Baba said he was God? Well, we loved Baba and obeyed him and surrendered to him many years before he declared that he was God. And when he said he was God, it didn't make any difference to me. Nothing whatsoever. Because I didn't understand what he meant. To understand him as God is to be on his level. So I accepted what he said, but it didn't make any difference to me. We just loved him, obeyed him, and surrendered to him. That's all I wanted to do. Many times he used to remind us over and over again, especially during the last 10 years, at Guru Prasad, in my apartment at Meherazad. Remember, I am God. So many times he repeated, I am God. And we used to say, yes, Baba. Meherazad. Remember, I am God. So many times he repeated, I am God. And we used to say, yes, Baba. Especially during the last few years, at Guru Prasad, he used to repeat that very often. I am God. Remember that. Hold on to my daman. Do not let go of it. We just used to say, yes, Baba. You want to know when I was in Meherazad for the first time? Well, it was on my wedding day. Our marriage, Nariman's and my marriage took place in Ahmednagar Fire Temple in the morning. And Baba told Nariman and me to come to Meherazad in the evening in a wedding dress. So we came here and Baba embraced us, gave us a few presents, gave a big picture of Baba, blessed by him. And then we stayed on at Meherazad. I, of course, in the women's quarters, and Baba in the men's, Nariman in the men's quarters. The next day, we were in Meherazad. But the day after, we all left, Baba, men and women Mandali, and we all left for Meherabad to celebrate Meher's birthday on a grand scale for the second time. Meher's birthday was celebrated on a grand scale the first time in 1942. Now I'll tell you what happened in 42. We were all at Lonavala. Baba and the Mandali were at Lonavala. And Baba put the rings on our fingers, Nariman's and mine. And that's how he performed our engagement. He took the ring and put it on my third finger. Then he took another ring and put on Nariman's finger. And that's how he performed our engagement. It was on 21st December 1942. You want to know about the personal orders of Baba? Well, he used to give many orders to individuals, but some of them were very personal orders. For example, he gave me the order that I must never learn driving. I must never drive a car. Then he also gave me the order never to learn sitar.
That's a musical instrument.
That musical instrument, because I was very fond of that musical instrument. I did not know to play that instrument, but I wanted to learn. But he said I should not. And there was the third order I remembered, I forgot now. And like that, and many other things like don't eat this and don't do that and don't do this and something like that. But then they are personal orders. That does not mean the others should follow. If Baba gives the order in general, then we all have to follow. Like once when somebody asked, Baba was in Madras, and there was a big darshan program. He gave darshan to many in Madras, and few from Bombay went on that tour. So Raman Maharshi's ashram was just nearby, and one of Baba's lovers just asked Baba, Baba, may we go to Raman Maharshi's ashram? Baba replied, no, as long as I am living, you should not go to anyone. Just stick to me, follow me. Now I would take this as a general order, the order to one and all, because there were about more than 100 people present. And he had a reason to say that, because later, much later, Baba explained that you wouldn't know who is the right person and who is the wrong person, who is the real saint and who is not. So in order to avoid going to a false saint, it's better that you don't go to anyone at all. And I am the King of Kings, so why do you need to go to anyone? It's December 1942. In order to avoid going to a false saint, it's better that you don't go to anyone at all. And I am the King of Kings, so why do you need to go to anyone? We were in Pune. Of course, we are from Bombay, but my father had some contract in Pune to build a college hostel. And my uncle took that chance. My uncle, Arnavaz Dadachanji, was the first one to meet Baba, and he was waiting for that chance to bring his family to Baba. So, Pune being nearer to Ahmednagar, he took that chance, and he brought his mother, my parents, and my aunt, and there were a few others. They had a bus. We got into the bus and came to Ahmednagar. I was only 9 years old. But my family had no spiritual understanding. The spiritual understanding of my family was a big, big zero. So my mother just took this trip as a picnic. Well, why not go for a picnic? Go to another place. And so that's how we went to Baba. I recollect that Baba was sitting on a couch and we were all sitting round. And I was just looking at Baba, just not feeling anything because I didn't know who he was. And suddenly my uncle Chanji asked my grandmother whether she had something to ask Baba. And that made me wonder. I say, who is this man who's sitting there? Why does Uncle Chanji want my grandmother to ask him? I mean, just an inquiring mind of a child. Then Baba told someone, go and tell women to cook dal and rice for these guests. And I, being a child, naturally I thought, my God, it will take hours cooking that, and when will we eat our lunch? I mean, that was how it was, being only 9-year-old. And then, of course, I remember we were sitting on the ground in a row and eating. That was how it was, being only 9-year-old. And then, of course, I remember we were sitting on the ground in a row and eating. That's the only memory I have of Baba.